Well, the Royal Crescent is really the culmination of the Georgian architectural development of Bath as a city, which happened in a very rapid period from about 1720 to about 1780, when the ambitions of the city as a social place to come and enjoy yourself combined with an architectural vision of reclaiming the classical architectural style through the works of Palladian, which had just been translated for the English, into a small rural town in Somerset. Before, Bath was a small medieval town, really, a walled city, and with its Roman past and its Roman history. But it was only really when it became a fashionable place for the royal family and the aristocracy to come in the 18th century that it took off, and people wanted to be seen to be here and to enjoy themselves and dance and gamble and meet other people and marry their daughters off and all the rest, which became the lifeblood of the city. Well, No.1 Royal Crescent was started to be built in 1767 and was completed in 1770. In this house you can see the typical rooms that a Georgian gentleman would have in his house. So you have a dining room where he would entertain his friends. Now, dinner took place much earlier than we're used to now, usually at 4 or 5 o'clock. And then after dinner you might go to the drawing room upstairs where there would be card playing, music perhaps. We have a harpsichord that can be played, and dancing might even take place in that room if people were not going out for the day. As well as lavish bedrooms with washstands and beautiful hangings in the bedrooms. And also a working room, the parlour, where you might meet your friends, do business and transact and write your letters for the day. All the houses in the Crescent face south. They get a lot of light in through to the main rooms. They have high ceilings. If you think of medieval houses, they tend to have small windows, quite closed in, quite dark, whereas in the Georgian period they were much more extravagant with windows and glass and lights, but equally are quite not over-decorated. The trend towards classicism was a move away from the Baroque in England and a desire to see pure mathematical lines represented in the architecture. At that time, English well-to-do people were travelling more to the continent, and so they would have seen the classical building styles from Rome and other places in Italy to which they travelled. And so it was an aspirational desire to have a house that looked like the houses on the Grand Tour, and that's where the Palladian ideals came in for architecture into the city. Of course, a lot of the wealth in Bath were very pleased to show off that wealth and ability to acquire those imports with sugar and tobacco and tea and all these relatively exciting, relatively expensive new products. We think of tea or sugar as absolutely everyday commodities that everyone has, but these were expensive luxuries in the day. The most expensive luxury was a pineapple, and people would even borrow the pineapple of their neighbour to have at their dinner table to show how wealthy they were because they had pineapples at the dinner table. The tea box would be kept locked because it was very expensive and precious, almost like a jewel box. You would lock your tea box. The tea would be used several times, so that once the upstairs had had their tea brewed in their beautiful silver tea kettle and poured out for everyone, that would be taken downstairs and the tea would be refreshed and the leaves used another time for the servants to have in their earthenware teapots downstairs.